Hello, I'm Rahada and you're watching Me Therapy Me, and today I'm going to talk about negativity, self-harm and self-destruction. Obviously this is a really big topic, so I won't be able to cover everything in one video. I'm gonna do other videos later, but for today I will focus, of course, on my own experience, but especially on negative energy from outside and from within. I'm gonna start with my childhood and teenage years, because when I was around 13-14 we moved again and I had to change school again and everything was new again. I have experienced that so many times before that I was just fed up and I felt a bit lost, like there was no home and I had no friends and everything. And the situation in my family was very complicated as well. We just moved into a house with my second stepfather, which I didn't like that person at all, and it was very difficult with my brother at this time as well. So in general it was just really complicated, and after changing schools like 3 times in a couple of months, I felt really stuck in my life and like I was surrounded in negativity. And that was because from outside, from students, from neighbors, from random people on the street, from family members, they were also negative and they were creating a negative atmosphere that was like, I can't really explain it. Like, I was totally surrounded by it and I couldn't get out of it. Like, regardless which direction I wanted to go or how I tried to leave that situation, I was always coming into another situation that just fucked it up again. So, and at some point the level of that negativity was just becoming too much for me. Like, I was not only surrounded by it, it just got closer and closer, and I actually physically felt like I couldn't move anymore. And regardless if it was regarding my body or my mental situation, everything was just so negative. And it was depressing and it was bringing me down every day. So that pressure was just growing and it became so big that I had the feeling like, okay, I don't know what to do, I've got to get rid of that pressure. And there was a certain negative energy inside myself I created because I felt so bad and there were so many bad things happening that I started thinking negative about myself, mostly about my life, about other people, and I started to feel really bad. And I actually wanted to do that. I felt like I have to torture myself, because at some point you believe what other people say and you kind of feel like it's normal what's going on there and what's happening to you. This is your everyday life, so you've got to deal with it. And you just accept it. But giving into this negativity made me create my own negative energy, and this was, I mean, it was the source of a lot of bad things I did to myself, but it also took away like my life energy and all the positive things I had. So for a couple of years, I did a lot of bad things. It mostly like, or at least with the major thing I did, it started out as something funny, like you dare yourself to do it, and if you can do it, then you're like, okay, you go a bit further later. So I started cutting myself, and it felt so good that I got addicted to it, and I couldn't stop. So I did it for a couple of years, and it mainly made me feel numb, which was what I preferred, because if you have the choice between like feeling ugly and stupid and worthless and just negative and down and depressed, or you just don't feel anything, then of course you choose that. So I enjoyed that torture towards myself in that situation. I mean, if I take a look at myself from that time, it's a totally different person. But I mean, on top of that, I tried to see how long I can manage without food or water, or what happens if I just treat people like they don't exist. Like, I really just absolutely ignored other people. So I was locked up in negativity. I was creating my own negativity, and I was feeding that with my negative energy. And I mean, it looks like there's no way to go to like leave this situation, to get out of there. That's how I felt, and for me, I had to reach the lowest point, which was trying to kill myself, like a couple of times actually. And at the last time I did it, I realized, well, but I'm not doing it. Like, I torture myself, I cut myself, I'm in that situation, and I don't know how to change it. So why not killing myself? But I couldn't do it. There still was a little bit of belief that there might be something else in this world that I could do than that. So based on the research I have done and all the things I've read, I know that a lot of people cut themselves or harm themselves in any way, or are in a similar situation. It even felt like there was a certain trend going on, or there is a certain thing, like it would be fashion to cut yourself and harm yourself when you're 14, 15, 16. Everybody does it. I really hope that it's not like that, but it just shows that there are a lot of people that are kind of lost in their situation. So, and I mean, there are a lot of people that actually do kill themselves because they probably just, they reached the lowest point and they couldn't change their lives. They decided to end it instead of taking that negative thing, that big negative thing, and changing it into something positive. But that is difficult. What I did, and it's something I can only recommend to everybody, is I took myself physically, mentally, emotionally, and I just placed myself somewhere else. So I moved away 600 kilometers from my home, and I started studying something that just was a bit of it seemed to be interesting to me, like just a tiny little bit. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to work in this field, and I don't know what to do with it, but it seems to be interesting. And I started photography, and I started to meet new people. I just kind of did it. It was very challenging because I was so scared and frightened, and it did not feel normal to me at all. But I only had the option to kill myself, so that's what I did. It's very difficult. It is. it sounds really easy, and if you recommend it to other people, like, come on, just change your life, it's like, of course the other person will be like, yeah, that's easy to say, but how am I supposed to do that, because I don't have any money, and my parents won't help me, and I don't have any friends, and my classmates hate me, and I don't get along with my teachers. There is no one you can talk to, there's no one that will help you. And in the end, that's how life is. I mean, it's great to have friends and to have family and people you can rely on, but in the very, very, very end, when you're at the lowest point, there's nothing they can do, even if they want to. It's you that has to make that one decision. And even though I don't regret anything I did, it was important, and every day I see the scars and I know, okay, well, you know, that's what happened in your past, so don't do it again. I mean, it's just an everyday reminder. But there are a lot of people that deal with the negativity by harming other people or by causing trouble to a lot of other people, whatever. I feel like, of course, you rather take the negative energy or negativity and trying to do something positive with it, rather than harming yourself. But if harming yourself and be self-destructive is something that you feel like you have to do it, or that feels like it's the only thing that you can do, then you might have to make this experience at some point. And just to make sure, I don't recommend doing that, but for a lot of people and for me, it did feel like the only thing I can do, and I'd rather do something bad to myself and later realize, okay, I've got to change something, than doing something bad to others and maybe do something that harms them or kills them and causes a lot of trouble and a lot of anger and sadness to other people. So regardless what you do, I can just strongly recommend, and I really mean it, if you feel like you're in a situation you can't get out of, if you're harming yourself, if you're torturing yourself, if you think about killing yourself, you have to change fundamental things about your life by changing your location, changing your friends, your social life. Start to do something you might feel passionate about, even if you don't know it at this point. Start something in arts, start something in sports. Just do something to see that you are not limited by the negativity that surrounds you. There is something behind that, and there is a world with lots of opportunities, with things that you can do. You might have like goals you want to achieve, and at this point you don't see it, so you've got to really make a fundamental change to your life. And that's, I think, the best I can say about this. It's, for me, probably the best experience I made and the best thing I did to myself. So there you go. That's the first video which is regarding this topic. I hope you kind of enjoyed it. Thanks for your attention, and see you soon.